Going back to U.S. engagement with some of these Syrian rebel groups, yesterday a senior administration official talking to reporters said U.S. is in touch with some of them. Can you explain which ones? And given that HTS is designated and there is a bounty on Golani's head, is that a 100% impediment for you guys to even indirectly engage with them, or not really?
So as a legal matter, no, it is not. We do have the ability to engage with organizations that have been designated. You might remember that the previous administration engaged with the Taliban while it was a designated terrorist organization and struck an agreement to withdraw from Afghanistan with the Taliban while the Taliban was a designated terrorist organization. So we do have the ability, when it is in our interest legally, to communicate with a designated terrorist organization. There are things you can't do under the law, but talking with people is not one of them. When it comes to engagement with groups on the ground in Syria, so we have a number of ways of communicating, sometimes directly with various groups, sometimes with intermediaries, either inside Syria or outside Syria. We have been engaging in those conversations over the past few days. The Secretary himself has been engaged in conversations with countries that have influence inside Syria, and will continue to do that, but I'm not going to get into the details of those conversations. I will say that there are a couple of key points that we are emphasizing in all of those conversations. One is that we want to see de-escalation moving forward. We don't want to see any organization take advantage of this situation to try and improve their own position, to try and improve their own standing inside Syria. We want to see ultimately a political reconciliation and a political path forward that answers the interests of the Syrian people, not the narrow interests of any one of the various organizations that are active militarily inside Syria.
Right. Is the U.S. government trying to engage with Golani himself?
I'm going to make it a rule while we are in this period of somewhat uncertainty to not try to read out all the conversations that we have one by one with various actors inside Syria. But I can tell you that we believe we have the ability to communicate one way or the other, directly or indirectly, with all the relevant parties, and we will make clear the interests that I just outlined, both in the top of my remarks and in response to your previous question. We will be making clear that those are the interests of the United States and what we believe are the interests of the Syrian people that we want to see upheld.